All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Hour number 3 underway, 9 a.m. Monday, November the 10th. We'll talk a little more Alabama football here in just a moment with Tyler Watts. Before we do that, some other scores from around the state. Troy goes down to Arkansas State, 23-10. Trojans now 6-3 on the season. Jalen Rayner for Arkansas State, 21 of 29, 247, 2 touchdowns, and no picks. Troy's got Old Dominion on the road this week. South Alabama goes down to the Cajuns, 31-22. Cajuns 3-6. South Alabama 2-7. Lunch Winfield, 14 of 15, 232, 2 touchdown passes, 15 carries, 45 yards, and a touchdown. Lunch Winfield, GMAC, getting it done for the Cajuns.
Well, what did we learn about lunching? That's when you bite somebody at the bottom of the pile, right?
Yep.
So maybe is that where he gets the nickname?
Probably. Most likely, yeah. I would
Probably.
say that's where it comes from, yes.
That's got to be it. It has to be.
It.
This
100%.
is 1897 football.
Before we move to Tyler Watts, tell our listeners about Crocker Moving Services.
Well, they're a local company owned by an Iraq War veteran, Eric Crocker. Crocker believes in hiring movers you can trust to complete full background checks and run drug tests on every single employee. These are good guys, and you can trust them in your home. Whether you need your whole home packed up and moved, your company headquarters moved across country, or you just want them to come rearrange your living room, these guys got you covered. They also do deliveries for furniture that you've purchased need to get to your home. So call, visit them online today for a free quote. The website's crockermovingservices.com. That's crockermovingservices.com. Support your veterans by choosing Crocker Moving Service for your next move.
All right, let's go to Tyler Watts, former Alabama quarterback, now member of the Alabama radio broadcast team. There are a lot of fans frustrated with the run game, Tyler. Give us your thoughts being in the stadium, what you saw with it.
Continues to be a little bit of an issue. But, hey, listen, LSU's got a pretty doggone good front seven, so I don't know how much of what you expected, but they're getting it done in other creative ways by getting the ball out quick around the line of scrimmage, a lot of screen passes, hitting Jeremy Bernard, short passes, having Lottie Brooks back, I thought really helped as well downfield, kind of giving you that other weapon that you needed. But listen, to me, I think Daniel Hill's kind of merging into your premier back. I think he's hitting the hole a little bit harder and kind of toting some guys around with that big frame, which is something that we were hoping. I was talking to Jacob Hester. I don't know if y'all remember him, LSU running back, and at
Never heard of him.
He was saying, listen, and just watching film and everything, it just looks like Jan Miller and some of y'all's backs are just a little hesitant and just deciding on exactly where to go, dancing around the line a little bit too much instead of just saying, you know what, let's go make three or 4 yards right here. Let's just make it happen. Cost them on the opening drive not being able to convert the first down on a short 3-1, and then 4th and 1, weren't able to get it. So, sometimes I guess you just got to lower your head because those windows, they open and close awfully quick.
I would agree.
Yeah, they do. And I feel like the dirty runs are something that they got to get ironed out. I mean, I can live with a 3-4 yard run, but the penetration that I saw from LSU is probably what's most concerning. And the amount of plays that were made behind the line of scrimmage, I don't know exactly how many tackles for loss LSU ended up having, but it felt like a decent amount. And that is priority number one, is not to lose yardage in the run game. Like, you got to stay committed to the run. You got to stay patient with the run always, but you can't lose yards in the run game. And it feels like that's what's happening too often.
Well, they got to figure that out, because down the stretch there's going to be there are instances where you're ahead and you got to be able to ground it out on the run, and you need all 5 guys up front making sure that they're locking in. I thought LSU brought a couple extra little packages as well, a couple safety blitzes where they were adding players, and Cole, all I could think about was you throughout the course of the game with Jack Pyburn. That dude is a beast, man. He just blows up the line of scrimmage, and he is a handful.
He is. Like, that dude, when you're talking about playing pullers, like, there's no staying square. He literally just turns and runs right at him. Like, I think I called him Ram Man before the season, like the old He-Man character that just ran through walls. Like, that's all he cares about doing is just running into people. But he was a problem, and he caused some problems. And I do agree with you, Tyler, that I don't think the LSU front gets enough credit because they don't have the Glenn Dorsey, the Booger McFarland, the Tyson Jackson, who's going to be a top 10, top 15, top 20 pick. But they got some guys that can play now. Like, Bernard Gooden can play. And Jacoby Guillory's having a really good year this year. You mentioned Pyburn. Obviously, you got a couple of guys like Patrick Payton, been around college football for a while, so they're not all the fronts that they're going to see the rest of the way through not going to be as good as this group. But I'll ask you this question in reference to the run game again. Is Alabama going to have to be able to run the ball significantly better than they have recently to win the SEC or to advance in the college football playoff?
Yes, I think that obviously you want to. I think that they can be creative enough, though, with what they're doing with some of the other looks that they're giving to kind of give you a little bit of pressure. And we got to look, they're probably not going to be a team that rushes for 200 yards, and that's fine. But I think you need to be able to get 100 to 150 every single game, and that has been a bit of a struggle. But just sticking with it. Of course, then again, the more explosive you are in some of the other areas of your offense, maybe that helps and opens you up a little bit. But it's not going to get any easier this week versus Oklahoma because it's another defensive front that really makes you earn the yards on the ground, and it's going to be tough.
Very tough. How would you assess the improvements that the defense has made? Because I'm continually impressed with the growth on that side of the ball, the playmaking ability on that side of the ball. I mean, just watching it from a fan's perspective, if I'm just putting on the crimson and white glasses for a moment, I'm never concerned when they're on the field because I feel like they're always going to make a play. It's unreal. Almost every single week, it's like they make some huge play that turns the game on its head. And this past weekend, no different. 3 fumbles forced and a lot of havoc created.
Yeah, and Kyle Hill Green with that punch out that he had, I mean, that was NFL textbook of how you tackle the ball. And that was a huge play in the game of being able to create a short field that Alabama was able to capitalize and get points on. Bray Hubbard, first play from scrimmage after the false start, was able to strip it away. Ball bounces around, ends up being a 13-yard gain for LSU, but you still put the ball on the ground. They give some different looks. They're rallying to the ball. I thought that Alabama looked extremely fast on the defensive side. You could tell that they were rested coming off of the off week. I thought that they played aggressive. But the biggest thing is they just keep everything in front. You don't really worry through the passing game about them giving up too many explosive plays because of how well they play in the secondary, just keeping everything underneath. And then they rally to the ball. And even on some of the passes in the third and fourth quarter that Van Buren was able to complete against some zone coverages, we had guys around the ball, but it was just a good play by the quarterback of finding some windows on some deeper passes. But, LSU doesn't push the ball down the field. And I don't know what the deal is with that, if they just don't have the guys to do it. But they didn't really have a whole lot of home run shots. And I don't know if it wasn't there because of the Alabama defense or just because that's not how they're built. But as to your point, we're opportunistic. I think we're getting really good play up front. I think playing so many players along the defensive front throughout the course of the year is starting to pay dividends as you're rotating guys in and they're not having as many busts. Linebackers are feeling good. You still have a couple of busts in the secondaries and rotations and things. I thought late in the game, Trey'Dez Green had a drop that would have been probably a 40 or 50-yard gain, and Alabama was only up 2 scores at that point with about 6 or 7 minutes to go. So you are dodging a few bullets along the way, but you're creating some havoc with your looks and kind of keeping guys off balance.
What do you sort of see early on? I know you probably haven't done a deep dive yet, but just with this Oklahoma matchup, what has to happen for Alabama to be successful?
Until you and Greg get this whole TV deal ironed out, then I can't watch a whole lot of Oklahoma, unfortunately. What do I see? I think that Alabama's going to have an opportunity in just watching Oklahoma early in the season to kind of hopefully take advantage of some of the matchups in the secondary. It's so long as they can keep a clean pocket, and that's kind of been the key all year long. For what it's worth, Ty Simpson did have a fumble. I think he's got to be stronger in the pocket when he feels pressure. But when this front 5 for Alabama can keep a clean pocket, man, he can dissect a secondary, and I think that's going to be key this weekend of making sure you're picking up the pressure package, because I thought the offensive line honestly did a really nice job throughout the course of the game, so long as they can stay out of those third and long situations, because LSU had a bunch of really interesting looks of where they were bringing pressure from and selling out, that even when they did, we had open receivers downfield, just weren't able to hit them. So that's going to kind of be crucial this week of just keeping a clean pocket and taking advantage of that receiving corps' ability to get open. And I think they can versus Oklahoma.
It's going to be a fun matchup. I think there's some definite intrigue as to why that one has a chance to go either way. We'll talk about it more during the week. Tyler, always appreciate the time. Thanks for hopping on, man. We'll do it again next week.
Thanks, fellas.
Tyler Watts, member of the Alabama radio broadcast crew, joining us there on the Higginbotham hotline. I want to go the other side of this with you quickly, GMAC, because not a lot of our listeners are dialed into the LSU side of this and sort of the hows and whys. What did you see with Garrett Nussmeier in this game? I mean, do we ever remember? By the way, like we entered a point yesterday. Not yesterday, because yesterday was Sunday, but we entered a point on Saturday when you go back and think about preseason rankings, ratings, player rankings, position rankings. We entered yesterday with a point that Garrett Nussmeier and DJ Lagway were benched on Saturday. Both benched. Now, you may have a better feel because you talked to that staff of sort of the hows and whys and sort of why that was what it was. But
yeah,
what did you see from him in his game, and then what did you know going in about the potential of Van Buren even playing in that game?
Well, they said they would use Van Buren situationally. So him coming in was not a surprise, but the way he was entered into the ball game made it feel as though it was about Nussmeier. But if you look at Nussmeier's numbers, he was 18 of 21. He did make a miss in the red zone on what could have been a touchdown. If you look at the throw there to the left, Bray Hubbard actually almost intercepted it. That throw was late. That throw was low. But I didn't feel like Nussmeier had a bad game. Did you? There were a couple guys open, and he didn't pull the trigger, but I didn't feel like he played poorly. Not poorly enough to get the hook.
And when I watched it, here's what I think happens to a lot of people too. Like you watch it once, you'll remember the throw. LSU is probably on the 35-40 going in, and he threw a fade to Trey'Dez Green. And when I first saw it on film, I was like, wow, like you got to give him a chance to catch that ball. That's your jump ball guy. Like, come on, that's rough. I go back and watch it. Trey'Dez Green is basically walking off the line of scrimmage.
Yes.
I'm like, there are a lot of people. I'm sitting there thinking to myself, watching the film in my hotel room, like, I bet there are a lot of people crushing Nussmeier for this throw. And Trey'Dez Green is half-assing it all the way down the sideline. And now, of course, he stepped on the gas, when he sees the ball up in the air, and it was too late to go get it. But, I mean, Nussmeier's got to throw that ball to a spot where he thinks his receiver is going to be because of what the route is in the throw. And if you're taking your time on that route, it's gonna look bad. So the only thing I didn't like is when he was under pressure. I thought he did both quarterbacks did a very poor job leaving the pocket, getting out of the pocket the way they left the pocket, and he's just not nimble enough to really be able to do that well. But running right into the sack the one time was kind of rough.
That was bad.
That was rough. But, I mean, I didn't think he played to the point where it should have looked publicly like he's having such a bad game he needs to be benched, which is how I think a lot of people are viewing it.
Well, but I think that it did look that way because of the timing and the fact that we never saw Van Buren in the first half, even though the staff told us that he was probably going to be sprinkled in. And mostly because I think that they thought that in order to get the run game going, having the element of the quarterback run provides you a little bit of an advantage from a number standpoint. So I think it just looked that way, but I do think the plan was going to, from the get-go, be sprinkle him in. I don't think Nussmeier did enough to get benched in this game, for example. I didn't think he played well, but I didn't think he played poorly. But I also think they needed a spark a little bit. And Nussmeier's body language and things like that, he just looked frustrated. He looked he just looked a bit out of sorts. But the optics didn't look right, but it was not a huge surprise for us to see him go in, But I just thought it happened earlier in the game.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Nuss was 18 of 21, 121 yards. No touchdowns, no picks. Van Buren came in 5 of 11 for 52 yards. I did think Harlan Berry looked good. I think he's starting to figure it out. I think he helped him in pass pro a little bit. One of the things we heard earlier in the year when we had him was just that from like a vision perspective, that it's kind of the old Najee Harris and Tank Bigsby stuff that we heard early in college, where taking the ball and like trying to hit your head on the goalpost right away. And it's kind of like you need to get those. You need the 6, 8, 10-yard runs before you get the 80-yard run, and I think he's starting to figure that out. So you're seeing some signs of life with him, but up front, still just rough for LSU. They did not handle that movement well at all. And I didn't think they were going to handle Bama's front well anyway. And then Kane comes out and starts throwing guys all over the place, with twists and slants and different whatnots. And that LSU line was rough dealing with that GMAC. Like that, they weren't going to be able to get much going with how the offensive line handled what Kane threw at them.
Yeah, and I think their O-line has got to be one of the most disappointing groups in the country. Because they have talent. You can't sit there and tell me that team isn't talented.
Oh, right? They have plenty of talent.
I mean, there's no way you can tell me they're not talented. They are talented. You just watch them. They have talent. But for whatever reason, the offensive line just is such a problem. And they also are kind of their own worst enemy. It's like they get in the red zone, they get a false start. They I don't know, they get in the red zone, they have a penalty. Like they get in the red zone, they take a sack. It just they couldn't really help themselves in this game. It was like 2 steps forward, 1 step back the whole game. And that's a really hard way to win against a well-coached defense.
It's kind of similar to Auburn. We watched this Auburn film this weekend, and Mark, where's that offensive line been? Like a group that's finishing and punishing people at times and actually getting movement at the point of attack. Like, where has that been? And it's kind of the same thing with LSU. The talent's in there. And it's just why can you? Well, I can probably guess as to part of the reason why. It's like you're not going through the chute, you're not going through the sledge, you're not going middle drill in practice at all during the season. Like, you got to work that stuff, man. And when you get away from that, it disappears in a hurry, and it's really hard to get it back. Really hard to get it back. And so I think that's been a problem with a couple of teams across college football. All right, we'll get to a break. Come back nationally. Some big things took place over the weekend. We'll discuss those next right here on Jocks. All right, let's go a little bit national here. College football from over the weekend. Maybe the game of the year, maybe the moment of the year in the Big Ten or in all college football. 9:21 Monday, November 10th, right here on Jocks. Listen online, jocksfm.com. Watch live on YouTube each and every morning. Just search Jocks945. 800-239-9569. You want to get in through the rest of the show. Indiana 27, Penn State 24. We fast forward to the fourth quarter, Greg, with 1:51 left. Fernando Mendoza takes over at the 13-yard line coming out, and on the first play of the series is sacked for a 7-yard loss. So you would think right then and there, all right, you hadn't played well, you're down, you now have, 87 yards to go? Things not looking great with 1:51 left.
Not at all.
And then all of a sudden, he throws a strike to Omar Cooper for 22 yards. He would go incomplete. Mendoza would then complete a pass for 12 yards, go incomplete again, and then a 29-yard pass to Nowakowski, 17-yard pass to Becker, which at the time, when you look over at that catch on the sideline, one of the best catches you would have seen in college football this year. To be able to go up and get it, attack the ball, take it away from the defender, get a foot down, going out of bounds, and you're just thinking, like, this is unbelievable.
Insane.
I mean, just completely ridiculous. You would get incompletion after that, which would set up a 3rd and goal from the Penn State 7 with 36 seconds left. This is how it sounded on Fox.
Mendoza in trouble. It's out. Touchdown! Wow! Omar Cooper, unbelievable. Give him the Heisman Trophy now.
An amazing scene from Happy Valley. An amazing drive for Indiana. Fernando Mendoza, what do you even say about this drive? Multiple throws on this drive. He finishes only 19 of 30 for 218, a touchdown and a pick. That was the one touchdown that he threw. Omar Cooper Jr. with, I still don't know how he did it. I still don't know how he got the foot down. If you pause it with him at the top of his jump catching the football, like, his body is out of bounds. And with the defender pushing him, by the way, and he's able to somehow come down and get that foot back and down and get it on the ground, hold on to the football, survive the ground for a game-winning catch at Penn State. Just unbelievable in a numerous amount of ways, G-Mac.
Crazy. And it was an amazing, amazing game because it was a game, and I'm sitting there at home. I'm sure you probably were too, watching the games or in the hotel watching the games. And it was not even like in the top 3 games that I was watching at the time because it felt at 20-7 like it wasn't going to be a thing. And then I get to the stadium and all of a sudden it's 20-17. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't stop watching this. And it became wild. He throws the pick. Next thing you know, Penn State has the lead. They also have the ball after a 3-and-out by Indiana. And they just need one first down. Indiana gets the stop. They punt it back. And then first play of the drive sack. Like, how many 2-minute drives are successful after a PN10 sack? Like, ever? Like, never, ever? Like, I mean, like 5%? Who knows? Some of the throws that Mendoza made on that final drive were absurd. Tight window zones, anticipating windows. Now, Penn State was playing a little soft, but the underneath defenders were playing pretty soft too because Indiana had no timeouts, so they just didn't want to give up the big play. He had to thread the needle in some drop eights. He had to thread the needle around some linebackers and some safeties. And that throw down the left side to Becker was sweet. Unbelievable catch. By the way, Becker comes into this game in place of the injured Elijah Surratt. And Becker, coming into this game, had 7 receptions for 150 on the season. In this game by itself, he goes 7 for 120 or 118 or whatever it was, and provided maybe the biggest catch prior to the final catch down the left sideline to give him a chance. All-out pressure, 3 straight plays. He finally finds an answer, and I don't know how Omar Cooper got that toe down. I'm still not sure how he got it down. It was just absurd. An incredible 2-minute drive. Incredible. And some of the throws he made, like, I can understand completely why his Heisman odds jumped the way they jumped after a moment like that, because there haven't been a lot of moments, quote unquote, for Heisman contenders this year. That might be the number one moment. You know what I mean? Like the ruthless efficiency of Julian Sand, the ruthless efficiency of Ty Simpson, the plays that we've seen made by Marcel Reed, the plays that we've seen made by Jeremiah Love. Like, there's a lot of good candidates. The plays that have been made collectively by Diego Pavia, a lot of good candidates, but no one has really had a moment. So I can understand why Mendoza's odds have spiked to, I believe, like plus 160 now to win the award.
I believe so, yeah. Just unreal. Like you said, the catch by Becker would have been maybe the catch of the year in a lot of instances. And over on the sideline, like pulling that ball away from a DB, getting the foot down, it was ridiculous. But that grab by Omar Cooper, man, like you can have all of your one-handed stick to the glove catches, like Odell Beckham grabs. The moment that was in, where he was physically on the field, what he had to do with the defender right there on him, making contact with him to pull that ball. I mean, you see him after he catches it, his eyes immediately go down to the back of the end zone. Like the awareness to catch the ball, and then like you can watch him in slow motion. His eyes immediately go down, and he's looking for the back of the end zone to try to get a foot in, and has to like kind of realizes that he's not going to get, I think, his left foot in, so he has to reach with his right foot and gets it down, and then survives the ground. Just like it's absurdity. But I need to go back to Saber, if you don't mind. I got to go back to this call again. You can say what you want about Gus, but I thought this is awesome. Like this is like I know he does some things like for antics. Like I just don't think he could control himself at this point. Like this is how big the game was, the moment was, how the play was, all of it. So run it one more time. There's a part of this that I need an explanation for that I have absolutely no idea what it is. Just play the call again, please.
Mendoza in trouble. It's out. Touchdown! Wow! Omar Cooper! Unbelievable! Give him the Heisman Trophy now!
Okay, touchdown! Wow! I've got. Okay, give him the Heisman Trophy now. I got. After touchdown! Wow! I need you guys to help me with what that is next. Okay, one more time, John. Sorry.
Mendoza. In trouble! It's out! Touchdown! Wow! Omar Cooper! Unbelievable!
Any idea what we're working with there?
I know,
Anyone?
But I have captions. It was Omar Cooper, unbelievable.
Yes.
Okay, one more time, since that's what we think he's saying. All right, let's see.
That's
Omar
lock.
Cooper. Omar Cooper, unbelievable. All right, well, now that I've.
Touchdown! Wow! Omar Cooper! Unbelievable!
No, it's not. It's I'm on Coldplay. I mean, honestly, play it again. It's not Omar Cooper, unbelievable. Let's play it again.
Omar Cooper! Unbelievable!
I'm on Coldplay. I don't think he just lost
I'm on
it.
Coldplay.
No, I just think he lost. I think he may have been trying to say Omar Cooper play. I don't know. I think he's just out of his mind.
Combining Omar Cooper and what a play.
Yeah, that's just it's just nonsense. It's nonsense. It's just gibberish. It's just nonsensical, and I love it because he's.
Omar Cooper!
It's not words. It isn't. I just think I love the fact that he's that excited about it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of the call. I think it was a lot of emotion. Sure, that's great, but I work with a guy every week that is like, I think the best at capturing a moment. Like, I think McDonough's so good. And I just feel like his calls in a situation like that are absolutely unbelievable. That one, I don't know if I would put like at the top. It was fine, but I don't know. It wasn't necessarily at the top.
I'm not trying to rank it over anybody else or anything else. I just think it was a fun moment with a guy that can be too much at times, but I felt like this was genuine because of what it all was, what this Indiana team is doing, where they were in this game. I mean, we've already mentioned it. It was a 2-minute drive of complete absurdity from Fernando Mendoza and multiple receivers on that team. And to make that throw, that catch at that moment like that, I mean, you go back and watch it in super slow motion, and I did not believe what I was watching. Literally, and not just because of the catch, but because of how they got down there, and then in that moment to make that catch right there. It did not feel real. It really didn't. It epitomized so much of what's great about college football and the sport. Like you said, to take a sack on first down on a 2-minute drive with 87 yards to go. I don't know many teams that are getting it over the 50 at that point. Seriously.
For sure.
And he's just throwing dart after dart after dart. And it's like, even with an incompletion mixed in there, literally phased zero. Not a single ounce of phase. Not a single ounce of nerves.
Ounce.
Nothing. And just ice freaking cold all the way down the field. And then Gus Johnson gives us this when the ball gets into the end zone. I don't know. I need an idea what that is. I appreciate the closed caption lady for thinking that she got that right. I think she's wrong because I don't think there are letters to spell that out. I think it's just noises is what I think it is. But I think it's hilarious. It's not Omar Cooper. I can tell you that.
I love that you're so set on the fact that it's not.
Play it again, John. Tell me he's saying Omar Cooper. Omar Coldplay, maybe.
Omar Cooper. Maybe he's got a bit of an accent on it.
It's not even close. Omar could play, maybe. You want to try that one? Run it back. I love the fact that it's not words. It isn't. It's just noises because he's just losing his mind, which is great because the moment deserved it. It was. I don't know, man. I've never seen. Have I seen something like that? I mean, I was trying to rattle. I was like racking my brain Saturday afternoon. Like, what's the best 2-minute drive I've seen? Like, what are we comparing this to? What are we putting it up there?
I don't know. I mean, it'd be like a Super Bowl drive by Mahomes or something like that. Like, honestly, those are the best 2-minute drives.
The Mahomes in that 13 seconds to tie it up. Like, oh, Mahomes got 13 seconds. There's no way he can tie it up. And then, boom, boom. Field goal. Then it goes. Now, granted, that's into overtime, and so there was still time to do all of that. But that felt like, whoa, okay, wow.
But, like, in college football, do we have, I forget how much time you had in Jordan-Hare Stadium, Greg, when you drove down. But
it was a long time. It was not a 2-minute drive.
I'm just trying to think of like who was really, really compressed and had to go get it and made multiple big throws on a drive like that recently in college football. I couldn't. I know there have been some, but to be an undefeated team, having the magical season that Indiana is, at a place like Happy Valley and go do that, man, I don't know. And then with what the head coach said in the pregame interview.
It was sick. It was a sick play. I mean, it was a sick drive. I mean, like from a quarterback's vantage point, just the gumption that was on display was awesome. It was a great drive. So yeah, no timeouts, needing 6. I mean, it was as good as it gets from a drive standpoint. It really was.
It was pretty good. All right, so that's a little more on the national scale. We'll get to a couple other things from that perspective. First, GMAC, tell our listeners about Polar Bear Services.
Well, Polar Bear Services has been serving the community for a while, and Wes and the guys continue to deliver top quality when it comes to their service. They can do so many things around your house, whether it's the electrical work, plumbing. They can install whole home generators so you're not in a bind when the power goes out. But they specialize and have their initial goal when they started Polar Bear Services was making sure that your HVAC system is ready and running smoothly for the cold weather that is on the way. So make sure your heating system is up to the test and get that checkup by the experts at Polar Bear Services. They're an independent trained dealer. I've been using Polar Bear Services for my home for years. I know you guys will have a great experience when you work with them. They're all over Alabama, so remember, if you have a problem with your electrical, plumbing, heat, or air, just pick up the phone and call the Bear. It's 205-497-BEAR. That's 497-BEAR.
All right, talk a little more national college football picture when we come back next right here on Jocks. Hey, I haven't checked the weather there. Is it going to snow today? Am I going to get home? Do you guys know?
I didn't know snow was in the forecast.
Oh, last week I was told that Monday was going to snow, right, John?
It was in the forecast, yeah, but
they changed it.
Apparently, the future changed.
Got it.
Is that the Farmer's Almanac?
No, I mean, I think legitimate because my wife was like, you need to check the weather for Monday. You're flying home. It looks like the weather might be bad. And then I saw a tweet from somebody today that said like 2,000 flights have already been canceled today. We're off to a roaring start. So
Just worry about what's in front of you, bud. Nothing you can do about it.
I got to go one step at a time. After being rerouted to Cincinnati at 11:45 Friday night, having to make that drive down to Lexington at midnight. Not great, but we made it. We got it done. Tell me where you are on this one, G-Max, some college football news for you quickly. We actually mentioned this to you about a month ago on the show, that this was probably going to take place. UCLA is nearing a deal to play their home games at SoFi Stadium.
I think it's strange, but knowing the circumstances surrounding the agreement at the Rose Bowl, it's not overwhelmingly surprising. Do you think that that's a good move as far as fan interest to go fill a giant building?
Instead of the other giant building?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah.
As far as capacity, I feel like you're gonna. It's gonna be bad optics either one.
With college football.
That's fair. I mean, I would say based on what the Rose Bowl is, you'd probably rather have your games there. I don't know, man. Like this, it just doesn't feel very college football-y to play your home games at SoFi Stadium. But maybe that place will look less empty than the Rose Bowl. I don't know. But it's not going to matter until they start winning games. Nobody's going to go anyway. So you got to win some games. You got to win some games.
Why you got to be like that?
You got to win some games. It only takes one.
I don't disagree. But they did win 3 in a row.
Take us through some of the circumstances. Like, what are the complications here for us that don't really know the hows and whys of how this is working, what the issues are here for them playing at the Rose Bowl? Does the Rose Bowl not want them there in the regular season? Do they only want their bowl game?
No, they have to spend it. The Rose Bowl charges UCLA to use the field.
What about the locker rooms?
I think you pay extra for that.
Got it.
That's all I know. I know that their agreement with the Rose Bowl is not like the best terms for UCLA. So it's not like crazy surprising. I don't know all the details, but I know that there are some aspects of it that are challenging.
So yeah, SoFi's coming in saying, "Hey man, we'll make our money on parking and concessions. You're in tickets. We'll split tickets or something. You're good. You don't have to pay us to use this. We want you in here." Then of course you go make that move. I don't have to like it, but I understand it. Just like 90% of the rest of college football right now. I mean, with where we are financially, if I have no idea what that would cost, but if it's $500,000 a year in stadium expenses just to have a place to go play, and you can wipe that off the books to go play at the other brand new state-of-the-art spaceship stadium that is more accessible for more people, right? Wouldn't that be fair because of the difficulties getting in and out of the Rose Bowl? Then, yeah, it's probably, from a business perspective, it's a good move. From a college football optics perspective, is it the best move? I don't think so, but that's just my opinion. I think people are going to see that different ways.
Yeah, just from a tradition standpoint, I don't think anyone ever likes messing with tradition. But at the same time, I don't think it's an issue. I think the ultimate goal is to be somewhere that is accessible for your fans. And if they determine that SoFi is more accessible for their fans, then by all means, if it leads to more, buns in the seats, then by all means, you know what I mean? That's the goal. Like, you got to make people want to go to your game. And yes, winning helps, but also not having to drive 45 minutes in traffic also helps. So I can see it being beneficial long-term.
Well, I'll just say this. If you got problems driving 45 minutes in traffic and you live anywhere near LA, you should probably just move. Would you not agree?
Well, I don't know if it were that easy. I understand what you're saying. It's like, well, I mean, I don't like paying 13% state income tax either. I don't like, but I should just move. Like, it's not that easy. You want to go to a football game, you want to go to a football game. Like, if you were a UCLA fan, you'd want to go to a game, and you drive, for example, 2.5 hours to get to Auburn. You do that, but partly because you love the school. I don't know what the love is there for UCLA amongst the student body. I don't know. I'm not a UCLA fan, nor have I ever been. So not sure I know the answer, but a good product is the first key, and that's only going to get there by winning games.
SoFi's closer
to campus.
Yeah.
Definitely closer.
Well,
considerably closer.
I mean, again, I understand it. I'm not mad at it. I don't love it because I understand and know what the Rose Bowl is historically, and I feel like it's cooler from a college football perspective to play your games there. But totally understand what it all is and what it all encompasses. So, yeah, we'll see. All right, more to get to, more to discuss, including a bad box score of the day next right here on Jocks. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Last segment of the day before three-man front takes over. I'll be on Read and React tonight in the SEC Network. I'm in Charlotte. Sounds like be able to get home after the weather update from our last segment, which is good news. Also,
yes,
good
no
news.
snow. Good.
Well, I was worried. So, still over 2,000 flights canceled, and it's not even noon. So we'll see how that goes. Your CBD store not canceled, still open, still have great products. Largest brick and mortar CBD retailer in the world. They focus their attention on being the best plant sciences company out there. If you need some products for weight loss, products for focus, products to get better sleep at night, your CBD store can help. Anxiety or arthritis for you or your pet, They have products that can help you there at your CBD store. First company to have USDA certified organic oil supplements. They've got the stamp seal on their products. So roll into one of their 3 locations today, see what they can do for you. Great customer service, skincare, gut health. They can help you with that as well. Highway 280 by Bailey Brothers, 150 by the Cage in Cleaver, Trustful just off 459. Your CBD store where good health hits home. Let's get to our bad box scores of the day. All right, we go to junior college basketball. The Minnesota North College Vermilion.
Oh, we've had them before. They
Plenty of
are
times.
I feel like they're the Dragons.
They are not.
The Eagles.
The Lakers.
Iron Hawks.
Iron Hawks.
That's right.
And they went down to the Williston State College.
They're the Warriors.
They're not.
Okay.
They're the Strokes.
Nope.
Different Strokes.
Wizards.
Oh.
They are the Tetons.
The what?
Mm-hmm.
I remember them too, I feel like.
Maybe once or twice. Iron Hawks we've had a lot. Tetons completely stamped out the Iron Hawks 113-31 in women's college basketball.
Wow. Okay.
It's 24-8 after 1.
All right.
That was mountainous.
It was 53-12 at the half. For Minnesota State, they did shoot 21 threes in the game.
How many did they make?
It's 2.
Okay.
But they got to the free throw line 12 times.
Okay.
How many did they make?
It's 5.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Just a cold night.
They did block 1 shot.
There we go.
All it takes is 1.
They only turned it over 46 times.
That's where you lost.
All it takes is 46.
They shot 12 of
That's
53
it?
from the floor.
Well,
It's
okay.
just a bad game all around.
Williston State shot 45 of 89. That's over 50% from the floor.
They were cooking. They're hot.
6 of 25 from 3. Out rebounded 56-30. That was your differential. They had 26 steals in the game, which you can imagine if one team turns over 46 times, you probably have a lot of steals.
Yeah.
Probably a lot of steals.
I'm just trying to figure out, like, so if you turn it over 46 times and there's only 26 steals, I'm trying to figure out what happened on the other 20 examples.
You just drop the ball and the other team finds
Yeah,
it.
it just goes out of bounds.
You just see, it's not a steal. They like if the ball just winds up in your hands, it's not.
Well, no, but if you throw
not a
it,
steal.
like Damian said, you throw it in the third row, I think that's a turnover, but not necessarily a steal unless we start crediting the fans for steals. But probably should have in this game.
Everyone got involved.
Yeah, they actually did. There were only 6 players that scored in double figures in this game for Williston State.
Tough.
9 players overall had points in the game. So, needless to say, a little bit of a blowout. Now, your points off turnovers, 65-8.
Well, okay.
Your second chance points, 25-2.
See,
And
they
we
got
mentioned for
25
Williston
did?
State, 25-2. We mentioned for Williston State, a lot of players got involved. Yeah, your bench points, 64-21.
They're deep.
It's okay. Only a triple up.
They're deep.
Okay. We will take you to Schoolcraft College. They are the.
They are the Pirates.
I don't know if that's a
Buses.
good. I don't know if that's a good guess or not, but no.
No, they feel like the crayons.
Crayons, no.
What? They're crafts. They're crafty.
They're kind of old school.
That's
They're
a
the
good call.
Bobcats.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well,
Is that old
They-
school?
Well, I mean, just like plain. Not trying to be all creative. They just snuck past Clark State College over the weekend.
Oh,
They
they're
are the
the
Clark State.
Superman.
No, they're the Cavaliers.
They're not.
Cougars?
Nope.
Cowboys.
Eagles. Just plain old Eagles.
Hmm.
And they were
Nice.
plucked
Also old school.
136-32 over the weekend.
Wow.
The old triple ditch.
Your score after 1, 29-1.
Hot start.
All it takes is
Oh.
one. We've
That's
seen.
the hot start.
I will say Clark State has a good coach because they scored 7 points in the first half.
Okay, there it is.
Your score is 63-7 at the half.
Okay. But there were halftime adjustments made.
And they scored 25 in the second half, so
See?
they're better coached there for sure. Clark State
Without
only played
question.
6 players. They shot 9 of 45 from the floor. Now, they did go 4 of 11 for 3.
Okay.
Only 10 of 17 from the free throw line. They turned it over 46 times.
Sensing a
They were
theme.
out-rebounded 59-22.
Okay, they just didn't want it bad enough.
Hold on 1 second. Schoolcraft College shot 56 of 102 from the floor.
It's up to the opposing team to stop them.
102 shots in the game, 7 players in double figures.
Shoot
We're
more,
back
score
tomorrow.
more.
3 Man Front is next.